Hello, welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for being here. I believe this is the first time you're hearing tell, or at least more information on this cover photo that's been floating around, Legend Academy, the brand new game by Eldorado Games.
I was gonna say, because you said heard and tell, and I've seen pictures of this, but that's all I've seen. I've seen the occasional picture. I think I saw one image with card crafting.
There's like 1,200, 1,500 people watching, like paying attention to the Gamefound pre-roll page.
Yep.
Without much more information. It's time to give you that. And first and foremost, a little bit of the information I should give you is that Quackalope is going to be listed for the very first time ever as developers on a board game.
Yeah, and I won't be, because my best idea he apparently had already.
I reached out to Eldorado. I said we'll do it this way. We'll say Quackalope, developer, and flavor texter, important term, Board Game Co., added charisma.
Added charisma. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take what I can get.
Here's what we're doing. We're going to give you an overview of what this game is, but really this video is first and foremost a call to action. This game...
It's broken.
It's
straight up broken.
Listen.
In the best possible way.
There we are. That's why I have him here. He has no interest in this being promoted if it wasn't fun, and isn't going to potentially become a game that you want to play.
It's absolutely broken, but it's broken in a way that I said, I'm not a playtester. I genuinely do not like playtesting games. I don't mind giving feedback in games, but I'm not signing up to, like... I like to play games that are good, and this game is broken, but I'll keep playing it because it's still fun along the way.
Yeah, so, we are going to have 3 links down below, all of which will lead you somewhere important, all of which are going to lead to you, hopefully, playing, testing, and perfecting or helping refine this game. We're at a point where the mechanics of it are solid. We've got a staple down on what we're looking to do with this system. And now the question is, because we have asymmetric player powers, we have various different challenges and scenarios, and a ton of cards that craft into your deck that allow you to, I know, some cool terms there, that allow you to, at this point, twist the game in a really unfortunate way. The audience to play as much as possible, to give us feedback. That means 20 times or 1 time, any little bit of insight from you will help us make this a game that I'm not only proud to be a part of, which I currently am, but also a game that you're going to want to get off your shelf as much as possible. So we're turning to you, the community, to get there to help refine it, and, of course, lead up to the Gamefound launch. You're going to find a link to the Eldorado Games Facebook page where you can send them a direct message if you want to schedule something. You're going to find a link to the Quackalope Discord where we're going to have a few of our community members helping run and sort of coordinate some of the development on this, and you're also going to find a link to the Gamefound landing page where there's more contact information, but you can also just pay attention to the development of the game as it stands. Alex, let's get into what this game is. Now, you've become slightly famous for your 60 seconds.
I like hitting that number.
Think you can do it on this one?
I'll trade in my charisma for my 60-second overview.
Let's give it a swing.
Go for it.
Ready?
Go for it. Legend Academy. I have time. I can just give a second. Let's just give us, 3, 4, 5. Legend Academy is going to be an adventure card crafting deck building game. In this game, you are going to be a legend. In this case over here, we have Alice. Alice slowly coming out of the deck over there. Alice is going to start with her own little tableau of skills. Each of those skills represents a pathway, a chain, a card that you can add to your deck and slowly escalate along that chain. From there, you're going to be card crafting those cards. You're going to add those cards to your deck, but also card craft them as you go, because this has an element of worker placement in it as well. Every single turn, you're going to be simultaneously playing cards, doing things on this board, on this map, and then sequencing from there to upgrading your deck, to adding cards to your deck, adding card crafting cards to your deck. Along the way, you're dealing with an adventure, unique different adventures in this game, which are going to be 2-part adventures as you go through, let's say, Gulliver's Travels, and you adventure along the board, taking actions, moving, attacking, interacting along the way as you build up the most ridiculous, over-the-top, broken combos that are unique to your character, unique to the cards you built, unique to the cards you crafted, and unique to the scenario goals and tableaus along the way.
Clean.
I love it.
Clean.
I love hitting it.
There's a few other things that you didn't, I guess, have the knowledge of to be able to talk about that I want to highlight. In the core game here, we're going to be working with Robin Hood, Alice, Paul Bunyan,
I give a 5-second spirit point. I can't list all the characters.
and Red Riding Hood.
Probably should have listed all the characters.
Probably should have gone through that. Along with that, at the moment, the core game's going to have anywhere from 5 to 6 chapters, which are each going to contain two stationary scenarios. This is not quite a campaign game, although the flavor text and the design of it will allow you to play for a progression, a full narrative. The object is to give you the most variability possible when it comes to characters, scenarios, and tableau makeup for every single self-contained chapter. So when you pull this off the table, you'll be opening up one of these books and deciding which story you want to dive into.
Now, let me explain for a second this whole context of This Game is Broken, because this is not just a clever title, it's not just a clever pitch. This game very much is broken. Delightful, but broken. My very first game of Legend Academy resulted in me playing as Alice, and then basically starting to build up a bit of a money chain. I drafted a card, I built a card into my deck that gave me money for every movement I took on the board. I then started crafting onto that card additional 8 movements. So every time I was moving, every time I played that card, I was getting 13 money. I then proceeded to build out every single movement card in the game, proceeded to grab cards in the game that gave me extra points whenever I played a movement card, and literally just ran around the board generating money to the point that there was a card on the table, there was an extra scenario card that said, whenever you spend money in the game, turn that money into a point this turn when you spend money. And I had a card in my deck that says you can spend the money that you just earned from moving to continue moving. It was to the point in this game that I specifically intentionally did not choose some of the cards that would build me up further, and I still won by a ridiculous amount. Now, it was immensely fun, and all players on the table had their own broken combos, and the broken combos in this game is what makes this game fun. But you also have to kind of make things broken to a degree in equality.
We've maybe slightly debuffed the whole move and earn money mechanic. I think what we're probably going to do is just put a limiter on it or something like that, where you can't run away by circling the board.
I like running away
112 times. That being said, the whole point of this is to give powers and abilities, to give you the opportunity to craft and build your tableau and feel like you're leveling up, which means you should feel powerful. But you should also feel that the game has a bit of a challenge. You should also feel like you're working against a unmovable object in a way, like this map that is always a struggle. And you shouldn't make the other players around the table feel like you are going to win no matter what.
And I think that last point is key, because so far in my plays of this game, it has felt like a struggle. It has felt like I can't do everything I want to do. But usually you can find a pathway within what you're doing that is strong. So for instance, going back to that scenario in Alice, I couldn't take down all the ships. I couldn't deal. I had basically no strength in the game, and part of the scenario objectives and goals were to kill things. And I couldn't, because I'd focused on a particular pathway. So you will constantly feel like you're trying to do more in this game. And the goal, I wouldn't even say the goal is to make things less fun and interesting, because it's fun and interesting.
No, not at all.
The goal is to make things broken equally to a degree, to make all the pathways, all the powers, that last point you hit on. You don't want it to be a situation where one player is like, well, I'm having fun with my combo, but I'm clearly never going to win this game because what you have is broken.
I'm really excited and really proud of where we are currently in the development stage. I'm excited to carry this game through full production, which means after the Gamefound launches, after you all aren't heavily involved in the playtesting anymore, Quackalope's still going to be helping work and refine and get this as close to balanced as possible, while still being a ridiculous amount of fun. Now, for those of you that are curious, since we're a little bit into the video, let me go ahead and differentiate the difference between publisher, designer, and developer. So I didn't design this game. This isn't my core concept, my idea. I've helped build out a little bit of the theme and flavor text, but the mechanics, or at least the systems in play, the card crafting, the deck building, the dungeon crawl elements were brought to me by Eldorado.
Yes.
They've done all of the heavy lifting here to get it to this stage. What I did is I showed up and have had continued conversations with them and continued playtests with them where I've said, well, what if we did this? Or that part isn't fun right now. Or what if we changed kind of the order of operations so that we're doing two things at the same time? That has got this to a point where they're proud of the game they've designed, and I'm proud of the game I've helped them refine or develop or work on. And then the other half is this video, calling out to the audience, helping get playtesters, because playtesters are not only some of the hardest things to find, they're one of the most invaluable resources that a publisher can have. And then I'm not in charge of publishing or distribution, but I know Eldorado Games, they've done a series of successful launches already, had a lot of projects already get into backers' hands, and they always do a remarkable job, both as communicators, as humans, and then also as people who are responsible for getting games to backers.
And it's worth noting, they already have a reputation for heavily playtesting their games, for really engaging in that aspect. This game, though, may have some of the most fun in the game from the ones I've seen from them at least, which also does mean a degree of extra playtesting. And I want to hit on that note I said earlier in the video. I don't like playtesting games. I'd rather play a finished game 99 times out of 100. This might be that one time out of the 100.
You're willing to play a little bit more.
It's not my favorite game. It's not to say. There are a lot of games out there. I really enjoy a lot of games. It's not that.
You said as it stands right now.
I'd keep playing this if... Wait, rating wise?
Yeah, you said like as it stands right now.
Rating wise, I said this is a 4 out of 5. I can't possibly give it a 5 out of 5 while it's broken.
It's being
while
developed.
there are gameplays that will result in me saying, you know what, this is fun, but like I clearly can't win. That can't get a 5 out of 5 in its current state. But if they get this to that point where it does feel equally broken as opposed to one character having the easy win,
it's a contender.
This is what I like in games. This is what I like. This is it's unique characters.
No, I'm not saying we designed this specifically for you.
Yes, you designed it specifically for me. It's got powers and abilities. It's got card crafting. It's got unique adventures that you're trying to build around. It has tons of different abilities and basically upgrades you can earn within each adventure. So you're buying equipment. There's like 3 different upgrade paths you can take in order to how to develop your character with their powers and your abilities and their asymmetry. It's exactly what I like in games: powers and abilities.
Yeah. So with this, there's a brief overview of Legend Academy. I will, in the next few days, have a gameplay video with Jeremy Howard and Daniel Arison, one of the designers over at Eldorado Games. That'll give you a sense of how this is going to function on the table. And then really, the main thing I want those of you that are excited and interested to go in the kindest way possible, but as thoroughly as you can, rip this apart.
Yeah.
Break it down. Get it down to its essence and help us make it as good as possible. So, with that, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to go play this game. We'll see you next time.